If you're thinking about moving from Hong Kong to the UK on a BNO visa, you need to think about eligibility. And it's something that Nigel will speak about in this video. So go check it out. Okay, so one of the things that we need to talk about this particular month in question is BNO visas and just really looking at some stats in terms of the population of Hong Kong reported here in 2020, which is slightly out of date, I appreciate, at 7.5 million. But we need to also think about the eligibility of people moving from Hong Kong to the UK. Nigel, what's your stats? I appreciate these numbers may have increased since this chart was done, but I think it does give us a nice visual representation. Do you do provide us with updates to these stats and your views on this particular slide?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's estimated that there are potentially around about 3 million BNO, excuse me, passport holders or BNO registered nationals in Hong Kong. So that would tie in with that. Interesting that the stats you've got here show that there are very few passport holders, but there are a lot of people eligible for BNO passports. So the question is, what makes a person eligible for a BNO passport? And we have to go back to the handover back in 97, because this is an historic matter. Essentially, there was a period leading up to the transfer where nationals of Hong Kong were entitled to register to become to acquire BNO status. And those who did prior to 97 will hold the status. You can't acquire it now. You either had to have registered before then or you don't have it. So obviously for people perhaps in their middle age who would have they'd have a memory of doing that, they would be able to simply know that they have done that. Younger people, perhaps children who were added onto their parents' registration application may not be aware of it. So there may be some people who will need to either inquire with relatives to see whether they were in fact registered as BNO holders. Alternatively, one can make inquiries with the Home Office in the UK, and the Her Majesty's Passport Office actually has a mechanism of finding out information from them regarding passport and BNO and other sort of status holders. So that's the way to establish that. So once you've established yourself as a person who holds BNO status, you can then take advantage of the BNO visa program. You incidentally don't have to have a valid BNO passport to make an application under the BNO visa scheme. You can rely on your Hong Kong Special Administration Region passport to make the application, provided there is evidence that you are a BNO registered person. And again, that can be that information can be extracted from Home Office records. It's interesting to note that the BNO passport itself is now not recognised by Chinese authorities, and so it's actually more beneficial, we find, for people to come to the UK and travel on their Hong Kong SAR passport, and if they hold a BNO passport, to simply use that to demonstrate their status and not actually to travel on.
One of the things that, Nigel, obviously we're talking about people coming in under the BNO visa, whether irrespective they've got a BNO passport, as you mentioned. But one of the things that I'm sure people will be really keen to understand is the indefinite leave to remain. What does that terminology mean, and how long can someone stay in the UK with one of these BNO visas, and what does indefinite leave lead on to?
Sure. Yeah, it's really interesting actually, Simon, because this week the Home Office released some results of a survey of people who've come to the UK with a BNO visa, and of those surveyed, 96% said that it was their intention to remain permanently in the UK. It was only very few, I think 2% who were undecided and 2% had decided it wasn't for them. So of those who want to stay in the UK, it's necessary for them to acquire indefinite leave to remain. This is a form of permanent settlement in the UK, and one can apply for it after a period of time residing in the UK with a particular visa. In the case of a BNO visa, it's 5 years. And after 5 years, an application is made where certain criteria must be met by those who are applying. They must have not been absent from the UK for more than 180 days in any 12-month period. So that's really important for people to be aware of who are coming here and want to stay long term. If they are living between Hong Kong and the UK, they must be careful to ensure that they are residing here for over 180 days every 12 months. There are various other requirements. A life in the UK test, people may have heard about that, which is the knowledge test for information about UK life, and that must be passed before making an application. There's a English language test, reading, writing, listening, speaking. People must pass that if they're between 18 and 65. So one of the other big things about the indefinite leave application people need to be aware of is the cost. It is expensive. It's about £2,500 per person. So if you're a family of four, it's something that you will need to budget for to make that application, after the 5 years residence.
What from that side of things, though, Nigel, I think the visa cost you mentioned is quite typical of visa applications, whether you're going to the UK or further afield. So I don't think the cost is that significant if anyone from Hong Kong is looking to go to any country. I know that if you go to the States, for instance, I know that can cost you up to $20,000. So actually, it's not that bad in terms of fee structures. Chenji, anything from yourself on this matter, apart from obviously bringing lots of umbrellas because it's raining in the UK a lot? What should people think about when they're moving over from Hong Kong to the UK?
Well, like Simon said, bring lots of umbrellas, and but actually, no, you don't need to bring any umbrella because the quality of umbrellas here are amazing. So buy them here. But otherwise, not really much to add. I think, again, be prepared about, obviously, it's a slightly different culture here, but people are friendly once you know them, and, actually from experience too, as an outsider. It's quite easy to make friends, to get into some communities, bring your hobbies. If you either, for example, a lot of people take up golf when they move to the UK because of so much additional space that's available to them. And in Hong Kong, it was never something, they always used to go to the driving ranges, which was, often readily available in Hong Kong. But over here, you get the actual course, the real deal. So, a lot of people have been finding this really, 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 as a really good hobby. So I would highly recommend looking into things such as this. So just enjoy your time and embrace the rain. Actually really pleasant.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. I do hope that you enjoyed that video. Please don't forget to press the like button on this video if you found it useful, and subscribe so that you do not miss any future videos. But please don't stop there. We have plenty more content for you to watch, and I think that this video is the one that you should watch next.